I've reached the point where I find myself just randomly singing the theme song for Mary-Kate and Ashley's You're Invited To series. And I never saw these as a child. I was obsessed with Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, still kind of am. But for whatever reason, I never saw the You're Invited To series. I don't know when they were released in the UK or anything, or if they ever properly were. But I have started to watch them. I have at this point watched about half of them, and the most recent one is the Camp Out Party, which was released in 1998. So they would have been about... Actually, they would have been about 12 at the time, but I don't believe they were 12 when it was filmed. They definitely look a little bit younger than that. This is actually my least favourite of the ones I've seen so far, and I predict it's my least favourite of them all because it's the one that I care least about. I have no interest in camping. I don't want to go to a camp out party. But, you know, the songs are still pretty good. There are a few things that make it not as good as some of the others. Primarily the editing at one point, which I will talk about when I get to that song. But it follows the kind of similar setup as the rest. Mary-Kate and Ashley want to give a party. They decide to give a camping party, which sounds like my worst nightmare. And then they break into song throughout it. This is very much driven by Mary-Kate. It starts with Mary-Kate riding a horse, which I love because Mary-Kate in real life loves horses. And I like it when their true personalities and the things that make them different come through. And that's very much the case with the You're Invited To series. With the parties and with discussing what they each want for the parties throughout, we do get to be made very well aware that Mary-Kate and Ashley are different people, which goes without saying, but obviously the media often portrayed them as, you know, the same person, if you like. It doesn't help that Full House did try and make people think that Mary-Kate Ashley Olsen was one person. But I like the fact that this is very much a Mary-Kate thing. Ashley kind of just goes along with it because, you know, she wants to have a party. But you can tell throughout she's not interested in it and isn't actually as active in terms of the singing and the dancing. But the songs themselves are, I'd say 3 of them, no, that's a lie, I'd say 2 of them are good, and 2 of them are pretty unmemorable, in my opinion. The first one is Just the Bare Necessities, not Jungle Book song. This version of Just the Bare Necessities is basically them getting ready to go camping. I haven't quite ascertained where they're camping. They're not in the woods, but I feel like it's too big to be their back garden, so I'm not sure where they actually are. But certainly children of this age should not be out camping and rock climbing on their own. It goes without saying. But all of that, you know, suspend disbelief. Just the Bare Necessities, they're packing their backpacks and talking about the things that they need to pack. Not the most intricate song, not the most visually entertaining, but it's a pretty catchy song. The second song is Come On, which is very much a Mary-Kate song. In fact, Ashley's not even in the main performance of this. She's hiding in her tent while Mary-Kate and their 2 friends, Katherine and Alexandra, played by Nanea, Miyata and Paige Segal, they are dancing, talking about going rock climbing, not rock face climbing, but, you know, hiking. And the backdrop for that is green screen, and it's not good. I mean, yeah, maybe for 1998 it was alright, not too bad, but watching it now, it just dates it instantly. And that wasn't very fun to watch. But the song itself, I didn't find that engaging either. The next song, though, I hate to admit it, but I love it. And it's Critters on My Crackers. It's Critters on My Crackers, Bugs in My Bologna. And it's got the most catchy tune ever. And the dance for it, the choreography is pretty decent. It's not the most intricate choreography that I've seen from this series, even up until this point. Obviously, as they got older, the dance steps got a little bit more complicated. But it's pretty fun. And, you know, if you had... I mean, I'd like to say this is not something I would do now. I'm 29 and socially awkward. But when I was younger, this is the kind of dance routine that I'd put on with my friends and we'd learn it. I think we would have had a lot of fun with this one. It's very easy to copy, but it's very fun. So I really thoroughly like that one. And then the fourth one, Raptor in the Woods, is when things take a slightly spookier turn. The four girls are in their tent, and I'm pretty sure at the beginning they were erecting more than one tent. But at the end, they are all in one tent, and they think there's something in the woods, or wherever they are. That's an interesting point. It says there, it's called Raptor in the Woods, but there is a line in this where either Mary-Kate or Ashley said, I thought bears were only in the woods, because somebody made a remark about the bears eating their food, and they said, I thought bears were only in the woods, giving us the indication that they weren't in the woods. So that's a bit of an oversight, but certainly not something that I should be nitpicking about, let's be honest. Raptor in the Woods, I like the way it was filmed, actually. The directing there is really quite good for, this series. It's, again, nothing overly complicated, but we had some good close-ups, and obviously it's filmed within a small space, but I think it worked quite well. The song itself didn't really do anything for me. This is actually also a very small number of songs, just 4 songs. The only other one I think that has just 4 is the Hawaiian Beach Party, which I have not yet seen, but the rest of them have. Actually, that's a lie. The Costume Party only has 4, and I really liked that one. So ignore what I'm saying just now. There are others that have 4, but it does feel quite short and quite quick. Ultimately, I didn't mind Camp Out Party. I'm really glad that it's given us Critters on My Crackers, because I will listen to that a lot on YouTube. I might even download. I need to see if iTunes has the MP3 versions of the CD releases that went along with these. I expect they do, but if not, I'm sure I can find them cheap online. I liked it. It wasn't bad, but certainly is my least favourite of them all. Still looking forward to the others. As I said, I think I'm over halfway there. I'm still very much loving this. Increasingly loving this. Increasingly singing the theme tune. Camp Out Party, not my favourite, but not terrible.